Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is October 5th, 2023, and FC Porto's coach Sergio Conceição has fired shots at Barcelona. Also, the club are still interested and are still tracking the Brazilian Wonderkid Estevao. And finally, reports have confirmed something that I told you about days ago or weeks ago, which is that Nico Williams will be extending his contract with Athletic Club de Bilbao. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. And before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way in helping this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking to place any sports bet on any matches or any sporting event all around the world, make sure you hit the Bet Us. They're currently having a special deal for new signups. And if you are looking to buy any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag. Both links are down below in the description. Now I'll begin with the news that Xavi Hernandez has sent a message to all his players, congratulate them on yesterday's win after Barcelona won 0-1 in their second Champions League match against FC Porto, where Xavi Hernandez said, "You have won 3 brutal points. In the Champions League, it's very difficult to win games, and even more so away from home. Coming from where we come from, what you have done has a lot of merit. You can be more than satisfied." Now, I do agree with Xavi Hernandez because yesterday's match was a very brutal one where FC Porto imposed themselves on Barcelona and the club were able to squeeze by a razor-thin win. But as I said in yesterday's post-match live analysis, I think that this was a very much needed win where even though Barcelona did not perform well and did not have a good performance during the match, it was important that the team win because after so many seasons of failed campaigns in the Champions League, I think it was important to win in order to continue motivating the players so they can believe in themselves. Because I think if Barcelona had lost, all those debacles from previous season of the Champions League would have came back to the minds of the players, and that would have definitely affected the performance of the team in the upcoming matches. Now, having said that, I do still hold the opinion that Barcelona did not have a good performance in yesterday's match, and they definitely need to improve a lot from yesterday's match, because if Barcelona don't, they will suffer against stronger teams, especially in the knockout stages. Now, speaking of the match between FC Porto and FC Barcelona, the club have confirmed that Robert Lewandowski has suffered a sprained ankle because, as you might recall, he was subbed off during the first half. And even though Barcelona have not given a specific timeline for the Polish striker's recovery, some reports are saying that he could miss up to 3 to 4 weeks out of playtime, which means that Robert Lewandowski could end up missing El Clásico match against Real Madrid, which is set to be played on October 28th. Now, we still don't know the exact recovery timeline because, after all, we do have an international FIFA break where Robert Lewandowski will obviously not be traveling to join the Polish international team. So hopefully that break will help Lewandowski recover faster, and hopefully we can see the Polish striker back in time for El Clásico match. Now, it's reported that Xavi Hernandez is currently eyeing several Barca Athletic players in order to substitute or to fill the gap in the attack, because after all, it's not just Robert Lewandowski who's injured. We also have Rafinha, who is also out due to injury. And it's reported that Xavi Hernandez is very impressed with Angel Alarcon's performance, and we can see Alarcon back in the first team. Now, Angel Alarcon suffered a very serious knee injury where he had to undergo a surgery back in May, and he has missed many matches during this season. However, he did play in the match against FC Porto in the Youth UEFA Champions League, where he came back with a bang and scored an incredible goal where he got the ball in Barcelona's box and was able to drive the ball all the way to the opposing side of the field and was able to score one hell of a goal, which if you haven't seen it, I do recommend looking up the replay. Now, it's reported that Xavi Hernandez is seriously considering calling up Angel Alarcon back to the first team. And of course, this would not be the first time for the 19-year-old left winger, where he has already played 8 matches with the first team during previous seasons. And we have to see whether Angel Alarcon will be able to prove himself in the first team, and who knows, he might end up earning his spot just like Fermin Lopez did. Now, while we're still on the topic of the match between FC Porto and FC Barcelona, yesterday FC Porto's coach Sergio Conceição made some pretty nasty statements after the match between the two, where he blamed the referees for FC Porto's defeat, and he said, "I have already answered in some flash interviews. I don't know if 3 or 4 times. We have played against more than one club, and that is enough." So Sergio Conceição trying to suggest that the referee was the 12th man for Barcelona and suggesting that the FC Porto lost because Barcelona somehow had somewhat to do with the refereeing calls, which I think is a pretty nasty thing to say, because yes, the referee might have made mistakes, but in no way was he favoring Barcelona, because he also made mistakes against Barcelona, especially the tackle against Robert Lewandowski, where it should have been a yellow card. And there was also the tackle against Jules Koundé, which was a clear denial of a chance to score a goal. It could have easily been a red card, but nonetheless, Sergio Conceição is trying to suggest that the referee was somehow on Barcelona's side, which is a clear indication that Real Madrid's campaign to make it seem that Barcelona has been buying referees with the Enrique Negreira case has been working, because now we have a Portuguese team trying to repeat the same propaganda, which is absolutely unacceptable. And it's very shameful that Sergio Conceição would make these statements, because after all, the only reason FC Porto lost was their own fault, because they played much better than Barcelona. They generated more chances, but they were unable to take advantage of that chances. And in the Champions League, when you do that, you get punished for it. And in fact, Barcelona has been punished for the same situation many times. We can all recall that match between Barcelona and Bayern Munich last season, where Barcelona played much better than the German team, but they still lost 2-0. And of course, that was that clear penalty that Barcelona were denied. But yeah, even though Xavi Hernandez did complain about the bad refereeing, not once did he suggest that Bayern Munich had bought the referees, but Sergio Conceição seems to be suggesting that. And I have to say, I'm very disappointed in the Portuguese statements. Now on to the news that Barcelona are still interested and are still tracking the Brazilian Wonderkid Estevao Williams, who just revealed some pretty interesting statements saying that he wants to come to Barcelona. Now, Estevao Williams, or also known as Messinho, is a 16-year-old right winger who currently plays for Palmeiras, and he is considered as the crown jewel of the Brazilian market, and every European team is after this youngster, including PSG, who made a 50 million offer for the young Brazilian kid. Now, Barcelona have been tracking Estevao for quite some time, and the player just made some pretty interesting statements during his most recent interview, where he said that he can't wait to turn 18 years old in order to play for Barcelona, which of course gives Barcelona all the advantage in the world, because as I've said before, all European teams are after the player, but it seems that the player is only interested in coming to Barcelona. Now, as of now, Estevao is not a priority for the club, because he does play on the right wing, and of course Barcelona do have Lamine Yamal, but it's reported that the club will continue tracking the player because they want to see how he develops, because after all, he also does play on the left wing as an attacking midfielder. So they want to see where does the Estevao end up cementing himself in what position, and depending on that, Barcelona could end up making a move for the player once he turns 18 years old. Now we will end today's video with the news that several reports are now confirming something that I told you about several weeks ago, which it looks like Nico Williams will be extending his contract with Athletic Club de Bilbao. Now, there have been a lot of reports these past few days and past few weeks linking Barcelona to Nico Williams, and as I reported in a previous video, yes, Barcelona have been tracking Athletic Club de Bilbao's winger for quite some time. However, I said that it seemed very unlikely that Barcelona could sign Nico Williams, because it looked like the player was set to renew his contract with his current club. Now, Nico Williams' contract is set to expire in the summer of 2024, and Athletic Club de Bilbao have been working for quite some time to extend his contract. It's now being confirmed that the player will indeed extend his contract with a huge increase in his salary. However, as I reported previously, Nico Williams has been able to negotiate a lower release clause, something below the 90 million euro mark, because Nico Williams wants to keep his options open in case a big team decides to sign him, such as FC Barcelona. So yes, Barcelona are interested in Nico Williams, but now since he is renewing his contract with Athletic Club de Bilbao, the signing of the player is very highly unlikely, because even though he has managed to negotiate a lower release clause, Barcelona are not up to paying huge amounts of money for other players, and Barcelona most likely wanted to sign Nico Williams only if he came as a free agent. So as of now, this option is discarded. Now, this doesn't mean that there's absolutely no option for Nico Williams to arrive in Barcelona. Nothing is impossible in football. But as of now, and unlike many reporters were stating a few days ago, it's starting to look very highly unlikely. That is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.